Hey guys, welcome back to Spilling the RealiTEA with Trisha and Kiley. We are so glad to be back. I feel like it's been forever since we have been here, considering we were here every single day for 80 days, it feels like. And yeah, so now we're back. We're only doing weekly shows and it feels super foreign. Yeah, so Kiley, I mean, we've had a week of not talking, and before we came on, we had what?
Yeah, I miss you. I was going to say that I keep having dreams that we are missing our show because it's like, what are we doing? Why aren't we doing our show every day? And so I keep dreaming that. It's so weird.
Yeah, it is a foreign feeling. So hoping we, have our chat going today, our usuals. I feel like we made friends with these people over 80 days, and hoping that everyone comes back and joins us weekly. We know normally we're on after the episode, but first of all, this was supposed to be a 2-hour episode, so we were like 10 o'clock seems really late. And then it wasn't a 2-hour episode. And so I did some digging there. Turns out it was because of the election coverage, but like CBS, let's be honest here. Like we needed
this is go on for a while.
We needed the 2-hour episode this week more than ever.
Yeah, because
I was
a lot.
I need a break. Okay, I need a break. Give in on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
we know, but come on, CBS.
Yeah. And I mean, it's going to be like this for a while. Like, I feel like we're going to be seeing the election coverage for like a couple months. So let's just get on with life and let's just,
hopefully not
Amazing Race.
We're seeing it today where it's like no regular shows are on. Like it's pretty much all election coverage, which is fine. Like it is a huge deal. I completely get it. But I do also like my reality TV shows, and I mean, The Bachelor was put off, which it comes on Tuesdays. I get like obviously The Bachelor like needed to be rescheduled.
Sure.
But come on,
Sure.
Yes, give us our second episode.
Yeah, so confusing, but that's okay. It was a really great episode, so I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, and Kathy says there was nothing new to report. Yeah, there wasn't. There wasn't nothing new to give us on Wednesday night.
There's still nothing new, and it's Friday.
There's nothing new. Yeah, it's Friday. So yeah, and I did want to show y'all that I have a different mug. Kiley actually made this mug for me. I also have a matching plate that goes to it, and it says Santa's Cookies. It's Christmas time, and I wanted to bust it out because I don't have any other Christmas mugs. Also, don't have any other mugs clean because, like, who does dishes in quarantine? But anyways, it's freaking Christmas time. Like, Halloween has passed. It's time for Christmas.
Girl, you're skipping Thanksgiving, but that's okay.
No,
I need a little Christmas cheer.
Yeah, I just don't like. I didn't put up fall decorations because fall, I just feel like it came so fast. And so now it's too late. Like I can't put fall up now. So I'm like, let me just skip directly to Christmas.
Fair enough.
This weekend, putting my lights up, my tree up, everything is going up this weekend.
Just move on. Move on to Christmas. Let it be Christmas for the rest of 2020.
Yes. So real quick before we get into the Amazing Race, to give you guys just a few Big Brother updates. Haven't seen much of Nicole Franzel.
She's gone.
She has been MIA, deleting people off her social media. That's topic number one. Number two, yesterday, Andy Herron called out Cody from BB19, and Jessica got into that. Jessica from BB19, his wife. Go check that out on Twitter. And then also we have an update on Pink Haired Aidan. He did dye his hair pink. So if you have been watching with us all of the Big Brother season, then you know at the very beginning, Aidan came on to our channel and said that if David does not win, he is going to dye his hair pink. And as we know, spoiler alert, David does not win. Big Brother.
Shocker.
So Aidan did provide us with a picture of his pink hair. So know that prior to dyeing his hair, he was a dirty blonde. And he dyed his hair pink, has his Halloween mask on. So just have to thank Aidan for following through with his promise. And rocking that pink hair, like kind of goes.
Great job, Aidan.
Yes.
I love it. That is so awesome.
Yes. So thank you, Aidan, for providing us with solid entertainment of your love for David.
Yeah.
This season.
That's dedication.
All right. So this week, in the news, we've had blue versus red, but on the Amazing Race, we had bottles versus melons, and let's get to it. So,
all right.
The racers start off, and they are going from the Amazon to Paraguay in South America. So just continuing their travels through South America.
Are you sure it's not in Africa? Because Uruguay's in Africa.
I don't think it is.
No, it's not. That's what our girls, Michelle and Victoria, said. They were like, is this in Africa? Because I know Uruguay's in Africa.
Oh, I missed that.
They're neighbors in South America.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure I learned in Spanish in my 6 years of Spanish where I know poquito words of Espanol.
Yeah, no, they're together. Uruguay, Paraguay.
Their accents, I live for their accents. Like I know we have accent, y'all comment on our accent, and they don't live that far from us. But y'all can tell, like, their accents are so different. The Cajun accent is so different.
Yeah, I need a camera on Michelle and Victoria at all times. They're gold. Everything they say, everything they do, they are so freaking entertaining. And I just want to watch them.
But what about at the beginning whenever they're wrapping up the last episode and they're on the boat and Leo and Alana, and how this is edited, really, I don't know. It's because we know how much this cast really loves each other. And I'm like, is the beef really that big, or like, is it being edited?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure in the moment that it was probably that big, but 2 years later, they've gotten over it, you know?
Yeah. I don't know.
That was super pissed that you did.
Like, I felt like, so when I talked about the edit, like, it seemed weird that we kept going back to the exact same expression of Will and James. Like, it was like, Leo and Alana say something, go to stoic faces of Will and James. Leo and Alana say something, same exact, like, it's like,
oh no.
I'm sure that those faces, like, I just feel like they came from another segment.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so I'm sure it's some production work there. But yeah, we do get a lot of Leo and Alana's reactions and kind of their feelings on Will and James after the double U-turn. They were able to survive it. I did notice that they departed an hour after Victoria and Michelle. So, I mean, they were significantly far behind. So they, you know, if the Blondies had not U-turned Frank and Jerry, then Leo and Alana would have been out.
Yeah. So
they were way behind.
Yes, they were. They were super behind. So the Blondies really did help them out. Unfortunately, in this episode, Leo and Alana could not help out the Blondies because they just could not catch a break. So we see some taxi struggles at the beginning. So with a few teams. So Victoria and Michelle, they're in their taxi and they're like, are we going the right way? Which we get this from a few teams because they're going to an orchestra. So they know the clue says they're going to this like orchestra. And so they're in this like dump part of the town where there's just garbage everywhere. The roads are dirt. I mean, it is third world country, definitely in this part of the area. So they're like, what kind of orchestra am I going to?
This is not right. This is not right. Something doesn't seem right here.
Yeah, I mean, if I had this clue and I had orchestra, I would probably think the same thing because I'm thinking we're going to some bougie symphony.
Yeah.
Not some dump.
Right.
So we also see that Haley and Kalyn have some taxi trouble, and it straight up sounds like their taxi broke down a little bit for a second.
Yeah, like homegirl, she got out. She went to visit the fam for a while,
Got really
visited with them. I mean, what was their taxi driver doing?
They're like, we're getting all of their emotion in this scene, and they're like, we're gonna die. Like, we're
Yeah,
gonna
and they're
die.
like, "This is bad."
Die.
And I love that, like, one of them would say something, and then the other one would echo it. "This is bad. Yep, this is bad."
Yeah.
Yep.
That was me. Like, I was like, this is it. Like,
Yeah.
Vaughn and Kelly's thoughts of getting kidnapped,
Taken. Yeah.
it's happening right here. She's
Yeah.
gonna be our
Like,
friend.
"Hey,
We're
look,
gonna get sold into slavery.
I
Like,
got these two blonde girls in the back, y'all. How much y'all want for them?"
yeah, exactly. Like, I'm also freaking out at this point. But the cameraman, I mean, he keeps his camera on them the whole time, and I'm just like, he's not freaking out, it seems.
Yeah. I'm sure that they've been through it so many times that they're like, yeah, no big deal. This happens."
Yeah.
But
Well, I get paid more if I get taken, so
yeah.
I'll do it. So anyways, we get to the challenge and they are actually supposed to be going to this dumpy area where they have to build a cello out of trash. And we get the saying, trash
One man's trash.
is another man's treasure.
Yes. And they are literally making these instruments out of trash. And it's really impressive.
It honestly is impressive. And we see a few of them get choked up, like build these, and then they go and this group of kids play the song. They have to play your instrument once it's approved.
Yeah.
And we see a few of them get choked up. We especially see Hung get choked up at, she's like, I have
Yeah.
kids, and these kids are just, these instruments are built literally out of garbage. And these kids, it's so humbling. And I was like,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah,
It's,
like I got chills just like you talking about it because you do underestimate like how lucky we are, even though we are going through this crazy time in our country with the election, with so much just division. But in the big scheme of things, we're so blessed to be in America.
yeah. I mean, like
And that really shows it.
my 9-year-old, wants a PlayStation 5 for Christmas. And like these kids are literally playing instruments out of trash.
Right.
Like,
And they're so talented and just, it's amazing. So.
yeah. So that was humbling, and it was nice to see, these instruments. Like, I was just like, okay, they're gonna build them, but then when they showed they got played too, I love that part. So they had to build these instruments, and it on the
Struggle.
outside, the surface level of this doesn't seem that difficult. You find these parts, you build this thing, you have an example, you mirror it exactly. But there is, of course, attention to detail that you have to pay, and there's certain lengths of things, and the strings and everything has to be right. So we see first.
Well, like I love the comment that we get from D'Angelo where he's like, one of my superpowers is that I can put together IKEA furniture without directions. I was like, okay, is this a little bit of foreshadowing? Like, is he going to do really, really terrible? But no, he gets in there and he freaking kills it. Like, whips this cello together like no big deal.
Yeah, he was. D'Angelo and Gary were the 5th place team to arrive and the 1st place team to leave. Madison and Raleigh arrive first, so Madison decides they're going to do the challenge. So they read the clue and they're like, what did the clue say? It was like, did it have to say like another man try?
Yeah.
Something about instruments though, because they knew it had to do with instruments. And
yeah, like who can orchestrate this? Whatever. I don't remember. I literally just watched it too.
And so like Leo was like, hey, like my whole family is musical. I've listened to, symphony music, instrumentals my whole life. I'm very familiar. So I'm going to do this challenge.
Yeah.
So we see Madison get there first. Eswar is second. And Leo third. And Eswar's doing the challenge. And he's like, I'm a software engineer. So that'll come into play here. And I'm like,
Yeah.
This was obviously a production quote. Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
What?
Don't exactly understand, but I guess I guess it's engineering of some variety. So, sure. Okay. But as we come to find out, spoiler alert, it didn't help him.
Yeah, it does not help. Software engineer and instrument engineering is quite different, it seems.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm just wondering, okay, we live in Texas. It's hot as hell here in the summer, but like they are pouring sweat making this instrument in Uruguay. And so I'm just thinking to myself, like, what is the temperature like there? Because it looks miserable.
Well, so it looks really humid. They're on these dirt roads that like are just sweating. Like the roads are sweating. It looks miserably hot there, miserably humid there.
Yeah.
Plus all the trash. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Have y'all ever been to a what are these, a landfill
Yeah.
in the hot? Because I remember in
It
summers when
stinks.
I was growing up, like we would take things to the scrap yard, and I just also felt like that was the hottest place in the world. Like I was like the metals, like all
Yeah.
this is so hot. So anyway,
Radiating
looking
heat.
through garbage, like ugh. If me and
Yeah.
you were there, who we get the clue, we know it's instrumental. Who's doing this challenge?
I don't know. I feel
Okay.
like
I played the violin when I was in 6th grade, and that's as far.
boom, girl. I never played any instrument. This one's on you. So go build you a cello.
I was always the last chair because I refused to practice. Like I put no effort
Yeah.
into it.
So when I was in 6th grade, you had the choice of like being in band or not being in band. And we moved my 6th grade year, and like where I had moved from, nobody would have done band. So we moved towns, and there was literally 4 kids in the whole 6th grade that did not join the band. And I was one
You
of
were
them.
one-fourth of
So
that.
that's like a really good way to, make yourself fit in is to be one of 4 people that doesn't do something.
Yes.
But I
Um,
chose not to, and no regrets because I'm not instrumental. So,
so I guess I would have done this challenge, and I would have definitely been sweating to death and
yeah,
freaking
yeah.
out.
I'd be like, come on, bitch, what are you doing?
Yes. But I definitely would have had, so Hung had he said, get one of the strings tight to hold your bridge there and then do
Mhm.
the others. And that is that I feel like that was the smartest way to go.
Yeah.
We also saw Hung and Chi and or Iswar and D'Angelo and Will and James. They're really helping each other in this challenge.
Oh, yeah. So we completely skipped over that part of them printing off the maps and just helping their alliances at the airport. Nothing came of it. So it'll be interesting to see if this is something like, hey, if we would have got that second hour, would this have come into play? Or is this just like, oh, hey, these teams are really tight. But hey, yeah, we're just going to show you this and leave it hanging.
Yeah, and I felt like Iswar really put a lot of effort into helping everybody with this challenge and giving people tips, and everyone was coming to them.
Yeah.
But they were there the longest amount of time. They weren't last to leave, but they were there. They got there. They were the second team to get there, and they were the 7th team to leave.
Yeah. Rough. They
Yeah,
struggled.
yeah. So after they hand their cellos in, the kids play their instrument, and it all works out. They get their next clue, and they know that there's a yield coming up.
Mhm.
At the yield is they have to make a drink that they're going to keep in their canister, and that's what they're going to use to hydrate throughout the day. And this place looked so hot that this drink looked freaking delicious to me. Like
Right.
I was like,
That's the type of stuff that, if you go to another country, you're going to do all the touristy type things. No one is going to have you making some tea that you've like ground up with a mortar and pestle yourself. Like you can't get any more authentic than that. And that is the stuff that I love watching on The Amazing Race because you would never see it anywhere.
Yeah. So I was like with them sweating, sympathy sweating with them. And I was like, this drink looks so good. Like that grass being crushed up, them herbs being crushed up, and that water, that awa, that looked so good. I'm about to go pull some grass out of my yard and I'm about to.
Yeah, I don't think that's some Bermuda that they were crushing up. I think they were some herbs of some variety, and they stimulated you mentally and physically.
Well, that's what I need.
Yeah, like
Um, no one uses the yield.
yeah, I think Leo and Alana were really looking for that opportunity to yield Will and James, but they knew that they were ahead of them, so everyone saves it.
Will and James were ahead of Leo and Alana, so they were like, not today.
Gonna hang on to it just for y'all.
Yep. So then after the yield, they move on to the detour, which is a double switchback of watermelon stacking and bottle balancing from season 20.
Okay, love the film of Will and James practicing this in their living room. I mean, which one of them had the foresight of, hey, let's film this so that, if this comes up, we've got this.
They also filmed it. Maybe like they were not recruits and maybe they applied.
Oh yeah, no, I think they definitely applied. I think in the first episode, James said that he's applied like 7 times.
Wow.
And so he's a super fan, and they went back, they studied, and they were prepared for this.
Let me grab my pen because we got to add bottle balancing to our
I mean, I feel like everybody, okay, I say everybody, most girls at some point in their life have tried to balance books on their head and walk like you're Miss America
but
and do it.
I would not be good at this challenge at all.
Is your melon bumpy?
I got like yes, I have a bumpy melon, like literally where my part of my head is, it's like a cone.
So I have to like really balance this right here on this specific point.
Yeah, like I would be, so this would be very difficult for me because when I first saw this come up, I was like, oh man, like
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd be able to balance these bottles, but like
Yeah.
the watermelon challenge, way harder. Like the
Yeah.
time it would take you to do that watermelon challenge, even doing it perfect the first time, would take so much of your time.
Right. Okay, so let's say we rip open our clue. We've got the two options. Throw some watermelons, balance some bottles, and dance. Which one are you and I going to choose? Because I feel like we're going to the damn watermelons.
Yeah, that's my gut reaction, honestly. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, just go to the watermelons.
But then, okay, so I'm really not good about following along with the show. I'm just going to skip forward a little bit. We see Hung and Chi switch, and they decide to go to the watermelons. I was like, there's no way. There is no way little old Hung is going to be able to throw like 900 watermelons.
But that girl, she be
And
throwing
she was,
watermelons.
yeah, because she was like, do you need some water? She's like, no, let's go.
We don't need to go first. We just need to finish this challenge. Let's go. Let's go, Chi.
Yes, I love her. She's so spunky, and yeah, she beasted it out. So
see their like place pop up and their name, and this was where I noticed that it says their title, like Riley and Madison are professional volleyball players, and we see theirs, and we see D'Angelo and Gary are NFL players. Hung and Cheese. Did you notice this? That
what are they? Married couple?
Married with kids, married parents. Yeah. It's married parents.
Married parents. Yeah. Like, okay.
That's how we identify them.
Yeah, and they talk about their communication skills and how that's something that they've struggled with, like through their whole relationship, and it's something that they're trying to work on in the Amazing Race, and I feel like they do a pretty good job.
Yeah. So the order here we see, D'Angelo and Gary finish first. They get to the detour first, and they choose watermelons. And then everyone else after them for the most part, chooses bottles, and then it gets to Riley and Madison, who are 5th place, and they choose watermelons. So they go over there. They're a little bit after D'Angelo and them. I think D'Angelo and them at this point had already done like most of their stack. And
I feel like they had been there for like at least an hour.
Yeah, they'd been there a while, and these poor dudes. Whoa. Okay, attention to detail, Matt.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing is I think that we could have done well with them because where they were like, okay, hey, we're good at throwing a football and catching a football, so this is going to be super easy. The physical part of it wasn't the problem. It was the strategic part of making sure they're, Hung and Chi immediately looked at the watermelons and were like, okay, this row is going horizontal and this row is flipped. And they caught on to that right away and were able to make their little stack go up pretty easily. And Riley and Madison also came in with a different approach of they basically like stacked up one side and then the other side, which I did not think this was going to work.
Yeah, I was a little worried about their strategy, but not as worried as I was about D'Angelo and Gary on the watermelons because, first of all, after a little bit, and we see them throwing, they swap throwers. Like D'Angelo is throwing to Gary at first because Gary's a receiver, and if he can't catch a watermelon, then he shouldn't have been in the NFL, whatever.
Yeah.
And so we see that, and then we see them switch, and Gary is throwing, and he's like, "You got to get out of the way of the tree." And does he do this on purpose? Like he literally like throws it, I feel like, at the tree.
Yeah. No, I think he was saying because D'Angelo was like, "You're throwing bad," and Gary was like, "You're in the middle of the damn tree. Like if I throw it straight, it's gonna hit the tree. Let me show you." And he throws the watermelon. I mean, how many watermelons do you think they ruined? Because I bet it's got to be like at least 100. I'm having
to switch trucks at some point. Like they had to get another truck.
They're like, bring in another load. So let's bring it back to Big Brother, BB21. How do you think Jackson Mickey would feel watching this clip of these watermelons being destroyed?
First of all, when he got to this challenge, if he were doing the Amazing Race, he absolutely would have done this.
He'd been like, we're going to the watermelons.
I'm so familiar with watermelons. Like, I know exactly how to stack them. I know how this works completely. He definitely would have done that challenge. And he probably shed a few tears at the sight of the loss of watermelons.
Yeah, it's so heartbreaking.
Speaking of Jackson Mickey, I don't know if y'all have seen, but he is going on an Instagram rant, days on days of walking us through his daily feelings in life. So just go check that out because it's kind of interesting, honestly. He is like wanting to be a new person and like rebrand himself pretty much. And he talks about why him and Holly broke up. He talks about the bullying that was portrayed on BB21, and he talks about his feelings through it all and how his mom's suing CBS. All of that is talked about. Like, y'all,
stop. Why is she suing CBS?
I remember she's not, but remember when the show was on, it was like she was going to sue CBS. Like that was like a news headline.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah. He talks about all of this, so go check it out because it is honestly interesting. Him and Jack do not follow each other on Instagram anymore, so apparently they're not friends, and I think that's good for Mickey's. If he's really trying to rebrand himself, it's like that's not the person I want to be.
You got to cut ties with those toxic people.
He cries on many of his lives or his videos.
Okay.
So go check it out. Interesting. We have talked about how much we dislike Jackson Mickey and the things that he did on BB21 and how tough it was to watch that. But this, I think everyone can learn and grow, and he's doing that. So go watch it. Y'all let us know what you think. But anyways.
Hopefully he's really doing it and he's not doing it for the opportunity to be on reality TV again.
He seems very genuine. He says he does not want to go back on reality TV at all.
Okay, then that would be great.
Yeah. So seems genuine. Y'all go check it out. Let us know what you think. But anyways, back to the watermelons. Gary and D'Angelo are doing terrible. On the bottles, we had a comment up here about, are these bottles real bottles? Because it would seem like glass shards everywhere would be very dangerous. And yeah, like I need answers on these bottles.
Yeah, and how many bottles do they go through? Because
And like,
I mean, they definitely seemed real. I mean, they were breaking and glass was breaking.
But it could have been like movie ones.
Yeah.
I need answers. And can I order these bottles online or like
so that I can practice?
Right. Because I need answers.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were fake, right? Like, because they were.
I don't know. I just feel like they were real.
They would fall off their heads and like literally be laying in glass. And y'all know how easy glass gets stuck in like your finger.
Yeah.
I just need answers. Like, I need answers.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we see that the first team to leave either of the challenge is Will and James. They have practiced this challenge of the bottles at their home. We see the footage, and they crush the bottle challenge. They struggle a little bit, but they end up coming out on top.
Yeah, like their third try, they get it. So great for them.
Yeah, they do awesome, and the practice apparently paid off. So me and Kylie got to practice.
Yep, add that to the list.
Yes.
And you can add watermelon stacking too, because we need to find like 800 watermelons.
Yeah, we'll just like go offer in the summertime to work at like a grocery store and like, okay, we're gonna put these up. We're gonna create a display for y'all in a pyramid.
10 by 10, got it.
And the second team to leave is Michelle and Victoria, and they also did the bottle challenge. And watching Victoria's tall self with this bottle, I was like,
yeah, I was like, there's no way. That bottle was shaking when she was getting up, and I swear it was like this. I was like, nope, it's fixing to fall. And somehow
it was like, but he was just
and I mean, yeah, just the comments that these two make. So like they're demonstrating the dance for them, and Victoria is like, oh, just lunges. No big deal. We got this.
Yeah, just lunges. Just lunges.
There we go.
Like, lay on the ground, Superman.
Yeah.
Get back up. Like, that's probably where I would struggle.
Yeah. Like, I probably can't even get down without a bottle on my head like that.
No, there's no way. So Michelle and Victoria come in. They leave second. And then the third place team is Leo and Alana. And they also did the bottle challenge. And while Alana seemed to struggle a little bit, they did it fairly quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe this isn't quite as hard as it appears because they all seem to have gotten it pretty quick. And obviously compared to the watermelons, like way quicker.
Yeah.
And as all of these teams are finishing, we still have Iswar and Aparna and the Blondies trying to put together their cello, y'all. And it's like starting to get dark. Iswar finally gets it. And I mean, watching him do this cello and how frustrated he was, like he's stringing the strings and he's like, okay, you know, if you do it too loose, everything falls apart. If you do it too tight, the strings pop. And like as he's talking, it's like pop, and there goes a string. And it's like, okay, I would be mad as hell at this. Like
I would love busting that thing over.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yes, for sure. I would look like, you know,
if
Ozzy Osbourne.
For a second, I would grab the example cello and replace it with my shit cello and go. Because I would be so mad. Dragon Monkey, you're a real one. That's it. Reality, mates.
Yes, that's our name.
I can't wait to do videos of us practicing. I'm gonna order some sugar bottles and I agree. Like they broke way too easy. Like I don't have a bottle of wine up here like I normally do, but like even if I were to drop it on the ground, it wouldn't just shatter like those did.
Yeah,
you know.
And but I mean, a sugar bottle, like you would still have shards from that. Like I feel like that would be dangerous too.
Yeah, I mean, and we did see hung like it like popped her arm at one point, and she like grabbed her arm like it hurt, and so I don't know.
Yeah.
Love it. So yeah, Riley and Madison did the watermelons, and they are the first team to get done with the watermelons, and the 4th place team overall to finish with these challenges, and that has to be so infuriating for Gary and D'Angelo. Yeah. This team got there after them, way after them, and they still aren't done.
Yeah. And Hung and Chi, they get theirs done, and they leave Gary and D'Angelo. And they are just like, okay, like, I mean, they're like trying to shove the watermelons in the pile. I'm like, this isn't going to work. Like, y'all need to just start over. And, just start over.
And then again, constantly throughout the episode, we hear Hung and Chi talk about their communication skills.
Yeah.
Regularly. Like every time they're like, my communication. And I'm like, y'all been married a while. And they've said that from the jump, like they've had communication issues. And I'm like, okay.
They just seem like such a perfect little couple.
I can't even tell though, to be honest.
Yeah, like, I'm thinking that like their communication problems are probably like most people's ideal.
Right.
But they seem like so perfect that, you know, like
so we're having communication problems. And I'm like, how? Like, I guess because Hung snapped at you a little bit and you were I don't know, but like I'm like, still, you were just asking if she wanted water. But like that's not a big deal.
So have y'all seen any of the extra scenes that they put up on CBS All Access? Because going back, I haven't watched this week's, but going back to last week, they put up one of Victoria and Michelle like looking for that clue that they spent 34 minutes looking for. And they're like walking through this man's house, like looking through his belongings, trying to find the clue. But what made me think about this is Hung and Chi are on the boat going down the Amazon, and Hung is like, wow! Like screaming at the top of her lungs, y'all. And she's pint sized, but Homegirl can yell. And so if y'all have not seen that, you need to go check it out because it is next level.
Well, that makes me think of when they get to the end and they're again talking about their communication issues, and we see Chi talking about, we just got to work on our communication. I need to do this, this, and this. And Hung is just glaring at Chi, like glaring up at him like,
it's you.
She doesn't say a word the whole time. Like,
yeah, so Hung is a firecracker. And I'm going to try and see if I can find this clip because it is so gold. But like as she's yelling, Chi is like, okay, like save some energy for later.
Yeah, so Efor and Aparna finally arrived to the bottles and watermelons, and they're 7th place, like next to last, and they decide they're going to do the bottles, and they do this like I don't know if it showed us the time because I didn't write that down if they did, but they did this like super quick. Again, we don't know because of the editing, but they were in 7th place. They do this. They end up leaving this in 5th place, right behind Riley and Madison, who did the watermelon challenge. They leave in 5th place. So go them, because
when they check in and feels like you're team number 5, they're like, what? How?
They're like, holy crap, cannot believe it.
Definitely made the right decision going to the dance and not
doing the
watermelons.
Yeah. But Will and James come in first this leg, and this is their second time. It's like we've had Hung and Chi come in first the first 2, and then episodes 3 and 4 we've seen Will and James come in first. And the first time they won a trip, and this time they won $5,000. And Phil says to them, you get $5,000 each to use after the race. And so I'm like, did they really get to use it after the race? Because the rules normally say after. Does he mean after the season?
Okay, is Trisha like breaking up really bad for everyone else, or is it just for me? Because it might be me.
I don't know. On my other screen over here, I'm not breaking up.
Okay. It may be me. Okay. Keep going.
Well, you got me thrown off now.
So sorry. But it was like blah, 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 blah.
We were having communication issues.
Yes, for sure. Between my internet and your internet.
So now you're frozen for me, and it's funny because your eyes are closed. There it goes. Your eyes were closed, like you were rolling your eyes at me. Anyways, Kathy says I'm fine.
Okay, it was me. It was me. So sorry. Okay.
So
Continue.
we'll get first. Michelle and Victoria get second. Leo and Alana are third.
Whoop, whoop.
Riley and Madison are fourth. Eastward and Aparna are fifth. Sixth place, Hung and Chi, and they come in and they are like, we will take it. We are fine with that, Phil. We're good. We're just glad to be here. Because they were the only ones to switch challenges, even though Gary suggested to D'Angelo D'Angelo suggested to Gary that we switch. Hung and Chi were the only ones to switch and go do the watermelons. So if you were Gary, if we were Gary and D'Angelo and we were doing the watermelons and it was taking us that long, all the teams had left, would we switch to the bottles? Would you want to switch?
I don't know. I feel like if you switch, it's almost like a guarantee you're not going to make it. And D'Angelo wanted to switch from the watermelons, and Gary was like, "Oh hell no! Like I've already done this music challenge and sucked at it. I am not going to go dance."
And I don't think that they would have been good with that challenge, to be honest. Like I don't think they would have done well with the bottle challenge. Kelly from the Olympic team tweeted out that she would not have done good at the water challenge because of her braids. And I don't know how high, high up D'Angelo's dreads are, but like that also might have been an issue for real. Like my head shape is a problem. Like, could be a thing. Could be a problem for D'Angelo.
Yeah.
Aidan.
Okay, so Aidan says, yeah, there you go.
You were saying something about if they actually get to use the money after the show. So, yeah, like normally, so we know in the rules they don't get the prizes until the season airs. They did this season 2 years ago. Phil says $5,000 each to use after the race. Does he mean really after the race, or does he mean after the season airs? I need answers.
So, like, did they just get 10 G's? Like,
well, not now. They got to wait till, after the season airs. Like, have they not got it yet?
They have to wait for all of it, or is it like after each leg?
No, they have to wait till the whole season airs. Like normally that's the rule. Once the season airs, you get all of your prizes, like your trips, your money. Yeah. So I just wonder. It's just a curiosity. I'm wondering.
Yeah, Kathy says Will and James said they can't actually get the trips and prizes until the finale airs. So there you go.
Thanks,
They're
Kathy.
sitting on it.
They're just waiting. Phil was a liar. Phil, you lied to us about the 2 hours, and you lied to Will and James about after the race.
Yeah.
You lied.
You're lying.
You're lying. Why you always lying?
Look, I found this clip, y'all. I'm going to get to the good part when she's okay. Y'all just she's the best. Okay, I'm laughing and none of y'all can see it yet.
No.
Hold on. I'm going to share this for y'all so that you can enjoy Hunk because she's the greatest. Okay. It's coming. Wait on it.
Is it coming?
All right, here we go.
Is the sound going to work? It's not going to work if you do it like that. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Y'all couldn't hear it?
No. You have to do it.
Well, that's unfortunate. So
this is why we need a technical person. If anyone's looking to be our technical assistant, we send you the things to do.
Womp womp.
We need a person.
Okay, well, anyways, she's standing up there. You can see it. She is yelling at the top of her lungs. Y'all got to go check it out. It's so funny.
She wasn't having any communication issues on the boat.
None.
So we finally see Haley and Kalyn make it to the cello. I mean, they finish their cello and they go and they do the bottle challenge. They also do decent at it. It doesn't take them too long, but D'Angelo and Gary do finish the watermelon challenge first. They get to the mat 7th, and Kalyn and Kaylee are last place, but this was a non-elimination round.
Yay for them. Yeah, but I love when Gary and D'Angelo check in, and D'Angelo's like, oh man, this was the worst. I know that we're eliminated, and this was such a cool experience. And Phil's just like, okay, could you shut up for a minute? Because you ain't last.
Yeah. They were like, and he's like, did y'all think you were gonna, is it any surprise that y'all thought that y'all are here last? And they're like, no, not at all. Not surprised one bit. They knew they were going to be last. And so they were last, non-elimination. They didn't get eliminated, but they do get told that they will have a speed bump next leg. So they will have to do a challenge to get caught up with everyone else, a challenge that no one else is going to have to do. Yep. So before they even get to the roadblock. So good luck.
And that is good luck to them. Hopefully they get a better taxi driver.
Yeah, Kelly was cracking me up with her tweets this episode because she was like calling out Evangelista again. And I mean, we saw, I think, who was it? Michelle and Victoria like straight up change taxi drivers.
Yeah, they're like, nope, we're not going with you.
They're like, I don't know where that is. Like the taxi driver was like straight up, I don't know where that is. And they were like, and so they changed taxi drivers.
Yeah, that was a really, really smart decision.
Yes, definitely 10 out of 10 recommend changing taxi drivers if your taxi driver doesn't know where to go.
For sure. I mean, as you can see, I mean, this is the second time that a taxi driver has basically tanked a team. It happened with Kelly and Levon. It sent them home. Luckily for Kalyn and Haley, it was a non-elimination because if not, another taxi driver would have, cost them their leg.
Yeah. So with this episode and kind of the beef that's being edited to show the beef between Alana and Leo and Will and James, are we foreshadowing what if these are the final two teams?
I hope so. That would be so great. And I love that this season of The Amazing Race is a little more cutthroat than a lot of the seasons are. I mean, we know that they're all really great friends now, but seeing them be really competitive on the season is really great. And yeah. I like the printing off maps and sliding them to each other where everybody can't see. And I kind of like this. I like that they're taking it to another level.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, even if I was playing with some of my very best friends, I'm going to do the most to win. And I expect you to do the same thing to me, to be honest.
Yes. I'm so competitive. So if I'm there to win, I'm there to win. And if I'm aligned with these people, then, I'm going to do what I can to help them.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the nature of the game. Sorry, not sorry. Meh.
Yeah.
Ed says he doesn't see Alana and Leo getting to the end. Alana seems kind of weak. I definitely agree that it could depend on the challenges that we see. But this editing really, I mean, we talked.
This feud
it could really, if they're the final two, it could be interesting.
Yeah. But as 2020 has showed us, we don't always get good things, guys. So.
Can't always get what you want.
Right, exactly. If this was Big Brother, then Will and James would already be sent home. Leo and Alana, y'all are bringing some drama and some entertainment. Y'all would be sent home too. So, we would just not that anything against Haley and Kalyn, but they're kind of boring, so they would win.
Right. Someone asked us what color team would we be on The Amazing Race.
Okay, let's say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Black.
Turquoise.
What'd you say? Did you say
Turquoise.
turquoise?
No, my actual gut reaction, like if they're like, hey, what color do y'all want to be? Like my gut reaction is lime because
No.
yes, because that's the color that the Riley sisters were, and they're just like there's so many iconic moments with them that I'm like, that's the team I want to be.
No, I don't like lime at all. That's like my least favorite color. I would want to be black.
We can't even agree on this, y'all. But I think we'd have to be
Turquoise would be a compromise. I could do turquoise.
turquoise or purple because of our logos, obviously.
Right. That would be branded.
Yeah.
Yeah. For team reality mates.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of the recap. If you are looking for more updates on The Amazing Race, then we'll be back next week, hopefully after the episode. So next week, it hasn't. Oh, barf.
No, never. We would never be Longhorn Orange.
What about pink to represent me? We would take pink. I would take pink. I don't know.
Yeah, I would do pink. Yeah, I could do pink.
Yeah. And honestly, if we get
not lime,
might just do pink.
Yeah, not Longhorn Orange.
No. Ew.
I feel like black is like, okay, these girls, they're here to wreck shop. Like, we're not cute little pink girls. We're here to kick some ass.
I mean, I don't care. Underestimate me. Like, if you're judging me off my color and you think because I chose pink I'm weak, then think I'm weak. Think I'm weak. I don't care. I done been practicing my Espanol. We got our list here of things that we are going to do to be great.
Well, anyways, maybe we could be a team of split colors. You could be pink. I could be black. That could work.
So next week is on our TV guides, a 1 hour episode. I don't know if they'll put this episode that they did not give us on next week. Don't really know how it's going to work, but the next week is a 2 hour episode per TV guide. So they got to get it in here somewhere. Unless they're just going to bump them all down, we'll get an additional, I don't know. Anyways, so if next week is a 2 hour episode, we'll probably have a Thursday episode just because 10 o'clock Central Time is late to do a show. But if it's not, we'll be back after the episode. So y'all stay tuned.
A 1 hour episode will be on after a 2 hour episode will be on the next day.
Yeah. So be sure to subscribe, like, and comment to help us out. But also you'll get a notification when we go live. And you can follow us on social media at RealiTEA_TRHS on Twitter and Instagram. So see y'all next week. Cheers to my Christmas mug. Cheers.